It's time to go inside Florida State football. This is the Jimbo Fisher Show. The Jimbo Fisher Show is brought to you by the Florida Lottery, proud sponsor of FSU Athletics, the Florida Department of Transportation, drive sober or get pulled over, the energy-saving conservation programs of Tico Peoples Gas, Camping World and Good Sam, your one-stop shop for everything RV, Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories, The Gem Collection, finest quality jewelry, extraordinary service, and the best possible prices. SunTrust, the official bank of the Florida State Seminoles. Nick's Toggery, provider of Coach Fisher's wardrobe. By visitflorida.com.
Jimbo Fisher Show, Tom Block and Coach Jimbo Fisher. And Coach, congratulations. What a win. A top 5 showdown. Your team goes on the road to Clemson, South Carolina and wins handily, going away 51-14.
We played well. I mean, we knew we had a great challenge ahead of us. Our kids accepted it. And I thought they got their emotions high, but I didn't think they were so high that they couldn't function in the game, and had a lot of quiet confidence because I thought we had good preparation, and they went in and played extremely hard. Assistant coaches did a tremendous job of getting our guys ready, and our players bought in to everything they were telling them, and they took it to the field, and we were able to execute in a very tough environment.
It is a tough environment at Clemson. It was a packed place. They were trying to set a decibel record, and it gets loud. But then there was also the hype. I mean, there was a lot of talk that this was maybe the biggest game in ACC football history, and your team handled it. Exactly
right, and that's all part of it. And like I say, I'm glad that we have learned to adjust to those kinds of situations with the ACC championship last year, the Orange Bowl, the bowl game. You know, we had the Clemson game last year was a top 10 matchup. You know, so we're playing in more multiple games like this. Guys are getting used to it and learn to handle the camera so they can still go play. Remember, it's still a football game.
51-14, the final. An awful lot of highlights to get to, and we will do that as soon as we come back. Stay with us. We are just warming up here on the Jimbo Fisher Show. Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Show. Florida State on the road at Clemson. Coach, you guys win the toss, get to defer, and really when you're in this kind of hostile environment, the number one thing you want to do is take the crowd out of it, and that's exactly the way this game unfolded.
It did. You know, the first play was huge, and they got a completion, and Marcus made a tackle, and we got a strip and got momentum of the game and got the ball back, and we were going to score, and that was very critical in the game. But I love the way I thought our guys prepared well. Roberto gets a great kickoff, gets it nice and deep, and Sammy didn't run it out. And I was close, 2 yards. I'm surprised he didn't really, but they didn't. They got a guy open, hit it, but we tackle. We talk about tackling the football, being violent to the football, and stripping. And our guys got it, and we got that football early, and it was huge, and a huge play in the game. We get a nice run, set out the tone, and I thought Devontae had a great ball game. I really did. Our offensive line, there's the unsung heroes, the offensive and defensive lines. Then we hear, so this is actually a backside read for him. It's actually a third read. We got something on the other side we like. We had 2 other options inside, but if we had the matchup there we wanted, he was allowed to go to it, and he went straight to it and made a great throw, and KB made a tremendous catch, big-time play. Now here we got out of a lane. We avoided on the wrong side, and that's the one big return Sammy got out to over the 30. And again, now we get had the ball leveraged. Now got to make that tackle, but you know, for the most part last night, I was proud of our defense. We never got out leveraged in the game. We kept great, and we kept the deep ball in the middle. We kept away, and then the leverage we did a great job. Here's Telvin Gardner running back one-on-one. Those linebackers are hard to find. The guys can do that. Now we're backed up. Get a great, Kenny Shaw did a great job. He was kicking a lot of high punch down there to him. He fair caught him. Did a great job of getting us the ball back. And who we managed the third down. Jameis finds the check down over here and gets Rashad, who had an outstanding ball game. Our line, Stork and Wilder and Bobby Hart, Trey Jackson, Josue Matias, and Cam Irving. Those were the heroes. Nick O'Leary in the blocking, and not only receiving but the blocking too. Those guys were dynamic last night. Chad Abrams here, mixing it up, get a little screen. We got to get that. If we get that block right there, now we're running downfield big time. But taking a no gain to a 3 or 4 yard gain. That's the critical things that great players do. We're an inch from right here popping this belly up out of there, and just keeping a good mix of run pass. Wanted to keep balance so they couldn't tee off in the pass rush. And boy, look at that throw. Dynamic on the fingertips to Nick. Nick makes the play. Had a lot of yak yards last night running with the football. Great route, cutting the guy off. Here we get it back out in the flat to Kenny Shaw. We get a 3rd and short here, and we miss a block. Daggone, the only short yards we missed on the night. We had to get a field goal, and we need to get touchdowns. That's something we've been doing a great job in the red zone, scoring touchdowns, and we let one slip away from us right there.
Overall red zone scoring, #1 in the country, though, so you have been efficient at getting points.
Got to keep getting those touchdowns. Here, we just Sammy had popped once, we just got a little kick down. Like it about 5 yards deeper, but that was, now here he goes, Taj. Boy, he's so dynamic running the football. I mean, he is with throwing it or running. Nice play by P.J. Williams there. But our defense in front, Jernigan, Eddie Goldman, DeMonte McAllister, Jacoby McDaniel, Niall Lawrence Stanford, all those guys were just so dynamic, I thought, up front. But they got a good drive going. Then here comes the blitz, and there's the I call him the Tasmanian Devil. And Lamarcus coming through, causing the front end. There's a big guy. See, when you're 278, you can run a little better. And Mario Edwards picks that ball up, scores his first career touchdown, which was huge in the game. Telling that defense, boy, I thought to me, the defense was the key to everything. And then here, Roberto gets a little pumped up, some of the youth showing, trying to overkick the ball, and we gave him good field position. That's where you want to put your foot on their throat. And Lamarcus, this was interference. It wasn't bad coverage. It's an underthrown ball, and it makes it tough. And it was a good call, and I know those things happen. We're playing hard. Just got to play the next play. And there they popped a run out of here, and I'm going to tell you what, Telvin Smith and Lamarcus Joyner, you talk about Mr. Everywheres. I think Lamarcus caused 3 turnovers last night, either had them or caused them. And then they're doing a good job inside. Jalen Ramsey, Terrence Brooks was great. Ronald Darby got a pick last night. Terrence Smith had a good ball game. Christian Jones, I thought that's a great catch by Sammy. That ball was behind him, and Sammy showed why he's a great player. Now they get a nice kick. Carlos grabbing that thing, wanting some energy now. He's sticking it up in there now. Carlos being physical. He's inches from coming out of there.
Yep.
The way he hit that thing. Our guys are ready to play. Now we answer back, get a nice play action. I like seeing him dunk. He could have dunked it down to his check down, but he scrambles out of it. Now get down. Get vertical and get down. We had a little talk about that one. But just be smart. Then we get a play action here. We get a nice throwback to the tight end. So it works against us, so we might as well do it. And picked up a few yards on the play. And then we're really driving right here. And now people can't believe this. This is a miscommunication. This is our coach's fault. The headsets went out in the play. And the receiver got signaled the double move. The quarterback didn't get the double move. And it's no coach's fault. It all came from the headsets going out. Now, you talk about Telvin Smith. They lost the tackle. Guess who ended up making it? Telvin missed it, chased it all the way down, and then made it for a bigger loss. Now, here we are on the goal line. We missed a block. That's where James got the concussion right there. Now, we missed a block. We should have push cracked that, and James could have been around the corner for about a 15-yard gain. Now, we got to get out of here, and we had to get some field position and punt and rely on our defense, which we did, because they had the ball on our side 2 or 3 times, and our defense held them to no points, and that was very critical in this game, in my opinion. Defense did a tremendous job right there. Phil Dumar giving us good snaps like always. Our special teams did a great job of covering. Great throw and catch, well covered by Nate Andrews. That's just a good quarterback and a good receiver making a play. Here we get play action now, but we're starting to put the pressure on. There we go. Christian Jones and Telvin, those guys are making plays now. Those guys are making plays. Timmy Jernigan controlling the middle of the field. Here they are on a sprint out, and our guys attack. Look at that. There's 3 guys flying through that football. That young guy right there, Nate Andrews, that guy's going to be one heck of a football player now. He is. Now we get the ball backed up, and we couldn't get it out, and we go to Mr. Old Steady Eddie here, Rashad Green, who makes big plays. And now James doing a good job reading the bubble. And watch KB take this guy all the way off the screen. KB not only caught the ball, but being physical in his presence on the field. Here they are in the zone blitz. James finds the check down on the blitz, which is critical, and got a one-on-one. Rashad makes somebody miss, and I'm going to tell you, there's not many guys in the country going to catch him from behind. He runs away from it, big 70-yard touchdown. We lost the momentum of the game, and we got it back. That's the way you quiet the crowd. There's no doubt about that. And then defense started picking up, and we started putting pressure. We were able to put pressure. Now, we missed the corner here. Should have been over to play. Nice tackle. Jalen Ramsey had 2 or 3 really nice tackles last night. But we're getting the quarterback scramble on 3rd down. And a nice hit by Terrence. Got to wrap up. There's Jalen again. We got to lose those lanes. Cassius, Chris in the game getting pressure. And they missed a read. And there's Mr. Excitement. Number 20, Lamarcus Joyner, our player of the game on defense by far now. And that guy was spectacular last night. He was our sod captain also.
And the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week, Lamarcus
He should have
Joyner.
been. Now here, we had a double move on one side. He didn't like to look, went back to double move on the other side. They get interference, and we get the ball. Now we start moving. Jameis right here on 3rd down, huge 3rd down conversion. Again, scramble, keeping his eyes up. And those guys doing a great job on the scramble rules again. Here we have a nice run back up inside. We're starting to mix the run and pass. We want to score right here before half again and get the ball coming out the second half. Now we get a big gain right. This is one right here. Boy, I thought that could have been a face mask. I couldn't tell from the other view. But Kenny, you talk about throwing the ball in a tight window and a receiver trusting his quarterback and going to get it. Now here on 3rd down, man, if we could have had a second more, We could have got a touchdown here. Our fate here, we get to execute a little better. We could throw a little better and he could run it, but we do get the field goal. Wish we had time for one more play. Started to try it, but we wanted to get the points right here, be smart about what we were doing, and we knew we had it coming out and have a 20-point lead at halftime. And I thought our guys played a tremendous, tremendous half of football with a lot of enthusiasm, but a lot of poise and presence.
The only time really that your offense didn't move the ball is when you were backed up on your old goal line. So you had a couple series
and we hit a play, if you remember, and had a penalty.
Right.
And then we hit another play and had to delay a game. Jameis didn't see the clock, and we threw KB. The best catch of the day may have been the catch that didn't count for KB, even better than the first one he made.
Sammy Watkins got 1 touchdown, but his total numbers in the game, Coach, 8 catches, 68 yards. I mean, you really bottled him up for somebody as dynamic as that.
You can't stop that guy. That guy's going to make plays. He's as good a player as there is in the country with the ball in his hand. And our guys, for the most part, tackled well, and we kept him contained where they weren't huge, huge plays, but he's going to get his yards and plays.
Our big play of the first half, sponsored by Gem Collection. And, Coach, it didn't take long for this one to unfold. It really was the first offensive snap of the game for Clemson. It was loud as could be in there, and boom, forced a turnover.
That's something we talked about, starting fast, at least eliminate the crowd a little bit and give ourselves some confidence. We wanted to start fast in the game, and LaMarcus made a great hit, made a strip on the ball, and our guys swarmed to it, and we were able to get in the bottom of the pile.
Joyner was all over the field.
Hey, Joyner, when Joyner's on the field, he covers every. If he had paint on his shoes, the whole field would be covered whatever color it was, because he'd be on every inch of that field. There's no doubt about that.
That's a good way to describe it. Well, 27-7, the lead at intermission, and obviously, as I talked to you at halftime, and we'll discuss this when we come back. I mean, the key is you got to finish the football game, which your team was able to do. We'll take a look at the second half highlights when we come back. Stay with us right here on the Jimbo Fisher Show.
Buckle your chin straps. It's time for Inside the Helmet, presented by Napleton Infinity.
I'm Jacob Coker. I play quarterback. I'm a redshirt sophomore, and I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Being a freshman, it's a run by Coker. He tripped the ball on a bootleg. Nobody picked him up, and Coker scores his first career rushing touchdown.
In my 8th grade year, I was out there in P, and I was throwing the football around, and I mean, I always could throw a football pretty well, and but I just never desired to play quarterback, I guess. I was just out there to have fun and play whatever the coach wanted me to play. And my high school head coach was the PE coach my 8th grade year, and he saw me throwing out there, and so he got me out there my freshman year and played quarterback, and that's really how it all started. You know, being from Alabama, it's either Alabama or Auburn, and you know, growing up, for me, it was, you know, one side of the family was Alabama, one side was Auburn, and I chose to go with my dad, and I was a huge Alabama fan. Me and him were two of the few out of my whole family that were big Alabama fans, and you know, our families would be at it, especially Iron Bowl week was nuts, but yeah, I was a big Alabama fan back then. Probably be a host of a hunting show. That would be the dream job. I mean, that's, you know, hunting is one of my favorite. Probably, I mean, it's pretty close to be my favorite thing to do. I can't imagine doing anything else that's more fun than that. So, you know, if I got to do that all the time, you wouldn't hear any complaints out of me. That's for sure. I like to go to the ones that are probably the most intense, and the away stadium that I like going to the most since I've been here was Clemson. I mean, that place was wild. I mean, that's why the reason why, you know, it's so fun, because there's so much passion involved. Their fans are real loud, and just, you know, it means a lot to play in an environment like that. You know, usually my roommate's Austin Barron. We just, you know, heck, sit around the house, and got a ping pong table out at the house, and you know, we'll play that or watch TV, or, you know, just sit around and relax, and that's really it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of downtime for us to do that. So I mean, when we get a chance to sit on the couch, I'm taking advantage of that. It's me and O'Leary. It's me and O'Leary. We had a little ping pong table out there for camp, and when we got on the same team, we played doubles so everybody could play, and we didn't get off that table. Oh, it was fun though. apparently the way I talk is real goofy to them, and you know, they make fun of the way I talk, and when I, you know, see guys, when I say like, "What's up, big man?" or something like that, they always, you know, say it right back to me. So when I'll be walking somewhere, I'll hear like Cam will always be like, "What's up, Hoss man?" like in a real, just overdone voice, you know, and so whenever I hear somebody making fun of somebody's voice, it's usually my voice being made fun of. So I don't really have too many nicknames, or ones I can say on here at least, but my voice is the main thing that gets made fun of, that's for sure.
Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Show. Florida State with a 27-7 lead at the half, Coach. And as we just saw, you got points going in. Now you get the ball, and you want to continue that streak of getting points as you start the third quarter. Your team has been excellent in both regards this year.
We've been able to do that and, you know, score either 10, 6, 10, 14, whatever it may be before the other team touches it. And it all started to me with a return by Kermit. Wasn't sure if he should have come out, and he stuck this return big time and got us great field position, allows us to be very aggressive in the play calling. And he decided, but I'm going to tell you what, when he kicks it in gear, that guy was one of the best returners in high school football ever for a reason. And he's got a great future as he continues to learn. Blocked it well. Being aggressive here, making the throw. This was, to me, was the play of the second half. It was 3rd and 10, and we weren't in point range, and be able to pick up a 3rd and 10 to KB right there. Big catch in the game, and he almost scored on it. And that got us a definite field goal, and then we were able to drive. Now, to me, I thought he'd get held there. If you look back on the thing, I thought he was getting drugged, but they didn't call it. This is another two big 3rd and 10. We get the screen pass underneath. Great. Watch Josue Matias right there get that last block. Our linemen, you know, Stork and Trey and Matias, Jose were big time getting blocks downfield right there, along with Kenny Shaw and the other receivers, and we're able to convert that. And a terrific run by Rashad Green. What a big time player Rashad is, and leader. Here we are. Now we start getting the moment. We're covering those kicks. Or we're juiced. Look at that. Marcus Alegwe, I'm telling you guys, Marcus Alegwe has got a tremendous future here at Florida State. He can run, he can cover, he can rush. They get a speed sweep. Again, not giving up the edges. Keeping them up inside where we could rally to the football was very critical. Here, great throw and catch, back shoulder throw by them. Good coverage by P.J. Williams. Just, you know, they have good players too now. Taj Boyd's a heck of a player, but keep making them. Oh, Telvin about undercut that one for a big time play. I mean, we're just being aggressive and making all the throws contested. And when you're a quarterback, man, and there's Tim, I'm going to tell you what now. You talk about control the line of scrimmage in the last night. He was driving guys backwards. They couldn't run up inside. The guy's a heck of a football player now. Physical. And get a nice high kick. And Kenny gets get the return right here. Now, I told him I don't need him dancing with the stars here. We need to get a little more north-south, or that show, You Think I Can Dance. But he made a phenomenal return. But we got to get up that sideline a little bit quicker right there now, and before he gets popped back there and gets a fumble. Get a nice throw again. When Jameis, the other side was covered. He come all the way back across to his fourth read on that play.
He's dynamic, period, but against the blitz, he's been unbelievable.
He can trigger fast. Now, this is a big we got a holding call. This is a critical part of the game. We're going down to get the last score. We're in the 25-yard line. We got a holding call. Now we miss a sight adjustment on the outside, which was very critical. We've been throwing that ball to sight. Jameis goes to throw it, and the receivers both missed it. And then we end up having to punt. And then, you just don't want to lose the momentum against these guys because they are so dynamic and can score. Now, I thought we had a clip right there. I thought there was a clip right there on this, and a very bad clip, and we didn't make the call. But, hey, if we'd have pulled the pin, we wouldn't have got clipped. We should have made the tackle. And then, like I say, they get momentum, score. There's a quarter and a half left. 20 points is nothing for these guys. They're inches from making plays, and you don't ever want to let them get started. So when you're on offense, you got to put your foot on their throat and put them away. Again, great job here. Cutting the field and have Ronald Darby. Boy, he's coming back and just getting in the groove and seeing the old Ronald right there, boy. Took a shot right there, but our defense, boy, just every time they just answer up. Then we start taking the ball back down the field. Nick O'Leary. See, Nick, in this one here, that's a backside read for Jameis, too. He's got the ability to go there or work front side. And they were single covering Nick in there, and he was working it. Jameis right here, get a pump, get down. Don't need to take that hit. Need to get down. But we'll keep moving. Get a little play action, and he sees the bubble out there after, and Kenny Shaw get north side, get 5 yards. All we want. Get 5 yards, we're good. Just keep the chains moving. Again here, found the one-on-one with Nick on the linebacker. Nick, great job of near leg, near shoulder, being physical, running with the football, and gets us down that red zone. We can score some touchdowns.
Big game for Nick. 5 catches, 161 yards.
Now, I thought if we stuck this run and stayed wide, I think Devontae would have scored right here. I really do. I thought he would have scored. Play action. Now, the one thing, Nick, here, if he keeps this a little thin and higher, we get a better angle to throw it, and we probably get it in there. But, it's a little route we were working on, trying to get the ball to him down there. Now, Jameis here, they covered him all down. But when you do that and you cover everybody, his ability to scramble and make plays with his legs is critical, and he made a great decision. We got in and kept the momentum on our side in the game. Now, Roberto getting a great kick, and we're still returning. We're covering now. We kept everything inside the 20, and that's a great job by Brooksy right there, and who had an outstanding game. And just can't say enough about our special teams and our defense. Good, nice tackle right there by Jalen Ramsey, freshman. Boy, that guy's going to be a great football player. Now, again, we gave up some yardage here on the run. We got sealed off right there, and we had a missed assignment that we got to get cleaned up. And we don't let them get started. Play the next play and be aggressive. Again, Taj Boyd, but I'm going to tell you what, Christian Jones on that edge, that athleticism makes a difference now. Marcus Legway, there he is again, same thing. They can react, they're fast twitch, and get going. We don't need to be dancing there too. Again, we got too many dancing with the stars guys now. I like the plays, but number 8 right there, Freeman getting on the outs. They were running that power and jamming it, so we started getting to the perimeter a little more. Great one-on-one. You get that guy the ball in space out there, he's hard to get on the ground now. Take a 3-yard flat route and make 10. We get a nice play action right here. And we get this is when he breaks all the tackles and gets in. Great run, great job our O-line, and our tight ends are doing a great job. And Giorgio Newberry doing a great job blocking. There's Dan Hicks in the ball game, making some good plays. And great throw and catch by them. Brooksy covers down on it. Terrence Smith back in the ball game. Again, we're keeping leverage on the football. Now, LaMarcus right there does not need to throw him. I love the aggressiveness, but we got to be smart right there. That little joker right there, he's full of it too. That's a great throw and catch by them. That had been a 4th down stop. We could have got out of there, and we ended up getting a 4th down stop. But great job by PJ. They had a run pass conflict on here, and we got it. Now, again, great goal line defense here now. Great goal line defense. We're being aggressive and physical, and they try to pop it up in on a 4th and 1, I think, and our defense held, and they did not get in. Again, we were trying to run the ball off and couldn't. We were running a little play. I thought we'd get a corner or a flat and get a 1st down. Well, we get the play action, sucked them up, and Nick O'Leary running hard. Boy, that would have been the longest touchdown in school history. He's 5 yards.
He was 5 yards away.
Oh, I've been giving him a hard time. I told him and KB, the Palm Beach crew, KB got caught last year, and he got caught this year. But Nick played a tremendous football game, blocking, catching, running. He is a complete tight end and developing into he's a huge part of our success. Now they get the backups in the game, and they're moving the football. This is a little different. We could have made some plays here. And nice top, Marquez White, nice go up and tackle right there. And I'm going to E.J. Levenberry. Great to see E.J. There's LaMarcus Brutus in the ball game. Now there's Reggie Northup in the ball game. Again, they throw it back out here again. We got to make this tackle, Marquez. Good job by Dan Hicks getting back in there. It's a good job by E.J. But there's Derek Mitchell Jr. in the game. You see him playing Brutus. We can't give up these games. We got to get leverage on the ball. Nick Wasom in the ball game. We got to make plays right here on this. And we can't let this happen. We give up too many yards. Cash in the game, and they kept hurting us underneath those crossing routes, and we got to reroute them. We got to knock them off coming across. They had a quarterback run. There's Nate Andrews, that guy again. What a football player. But they get in the end zone and get a late score, and then we were able to run the clock out. But, great win for us. It was an important win for us. But, again, we have 6 more ball games. And the most important one's the next one we have to play against NC State, and that's what we got to get ready for.
You say it all the time. They count the same, 1 win or 1 loss every week.
Exactly.
That's what you're going to have to work on with your team this week. Let's go back to the first drive of the second half, which is where we'll find our biggest play of the second half, brought to us by Xfinity. And wasn't necessarily a dynamic play, but given it was 3rd and 10, it was a pretty big play.
It was, because you want to get points and get momentum. Because if Clemson gets hot, they can score points in bunches. And we had a nice 3rd and 10 converted to KB on a double move in there, and he set the route down in the hole perfectly, read the zone coverage. Jameis sees it as a second read, hits it in the hole, and he about breaks it and scores. But we're at least in field goal range to get points and keep the momentum of the game. I talk about it all the time. The momentum of the game is critical, and we were able to get that. And then we converted to 3rd and 10 for a touchdown, but we could have kicked a field goal there. That first 3rd and 10 I thought was a little more critical, and was just very important for us to keep the points and keep the pressure on Clemson.
Final score, 51-14. Florida State gets the win, and there's no time to celebrate. That's over.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State gets set for North Carolina State this weekend, and it's going to be a special weekend in Tallahassee because Bobby Bowden is coming back. We'll talk about that and the Wolfpack when we continue right here on the Jimbo Fisher Show.
Let's go behind the scenes of Seminole football with this week's Seminole Insider, presented by Hyundai.
Understand where you're at. Understand the moment you're in. Grasp the moment you're in. Seize them. Live them and enjoy them, but understand the power of preparation and the power of love, trust, and unity above each other. A team. Not worry about who makes play. Play don't care who makes it. Game don't care who wins it. You determine what happens. And you're doing it because you're unselfish, you work, and you love, trust, and believe in each other, and you're a family. It's that simple, guys. There's no secret to this. I told you, you're recruited here for a reason. You're talented. That's a gift. Your attitude, work ethic, and everything else is a choice. You got to do it. And I mean, that means your habits on the field are the same as your habits off the field. Class, study hall, doing the right thing, staying out of trouble, making great decisions. It's all the same, guys. It all carries over. And it's fun to watch you guys grow as men. I told you this. I love this team as much as any team I've ever coached.
Welcome back, everyone. Our guest today is Sal Sunseri, defensive ends coach here at Florida State. Coach, first of all, welcome to Florida State. How has the transition coming to Tallahassee been for you and your family?
It's been fantastic. You know, being here and being involved in the community and being around the people, the passion for football around here is tremendous, and it's a lot of fun. And everywhere you're going, everybody's a Florida State fan, and they're excited about it, and it's been tremendous.
So many times, if you have 6 new coaches that come in like you all did, you might not know each other very well. And that's not the case with you all, especially with you and Coach Pruitt. You had so much experience together. How much has that really paid off for you guys this year?
Well, I think it's paid out a lot. I mean, you know, I know what he's thinking. He knows what I'm thinking. We know what each of us need to do to prepare our specific position to get ready to play and have the success that we want to have. You know, but Charles Kelly's jumped in here, and Odell Higgins, who's been here forever, has been a fine. I mean, he's the greatest human being I've ever been around, both people. And, you know, our defensive staff right now, the chemistry on there is extremely good. Everybody knows their role, what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. So it's been fun. Jimbo did a good job putting this together.
What was your first interaction with Coach Fisher? How did you get to meet him and become friends with him?
Well, originally it was down there at LSU when we got together with Nick Saban the first time he went to LSU. We were all on the staff down there. And, you know, that was it. And we had a good season. We took that team to the Peach Bowl, and we had success. And then, you know, watching Jimbo and see him develop and the championships that he won at LSU, and then coming here. And then last year, as you know, you're just watching Florida State and what they're doing for the past 3 years under Coach Fisher. You know that it's a great place to come and be a part of.
Obviously, you come from a long football background. Football has been part of your family for a number of years. How did you initially get introduced to the game? What made you want to play football?
Well, I was the youngest of 5 children, and I had 3 older brothers, and everybody played football. So playing football, being at Central Catholic, going to the University of Pittsburgh, being part of that and being part of the Steelers, you know, it's tremendous. And then once you've got that itch of playing this game, and you get an opportunity to coach it and teach young men how to develop themselves and give them an opportunity, I was really interested. So Coach Fazio gave me an opportunity to become a GA. I was a GA for 1 year, and then I immediately was hired at the University of Pittsburgh, and then from there, you know, it's been a nice little role.
What was it like going back this year to Pittsburgh? What was that like for you?
Well, you know, it's like anything else. You know, when I was at the University of Pittsburgh, you know, we came down here to Florida State. Florida State beat us on a great 1980 team. And then going back to Pittsburgh and being at Florida State, you know, it was exciting for me. I think like anything else, you know, my move and what I've done since I left Pittsburgh a long time ago has been nothing but beneficial for me. Understanding how important football is in the South and being part of the ACC, being part of the SEC, you know, it's really unique. And I try to explain to people that football down here in the South is totally different than football up there in the North. You know, the people that have the passion when they come to the games, it's important. Saturday's important for a lot of people in Tallahassee, not just us coaches. I mean, for the community and everything else. And it was fun. It was more fun than the number of points we put on them, and it's exciting.
Initially for you, what is the one thing you'd say is the biggest positive about being a coach, about affecting someone's life, not on the field specifically, but off the field too?
It's developing. It's developing a young man to be accountable and to be dependable for the rest of his life. Whether you're making sure that that young man's taking his academics serious, whether he has to understand that if you're late for a class, you're going to be late for a blitz. If you don't do an assignment in your class, you're going to not do your assignment on the field. And there's a direct correlation to how well a young man's doing in school compared to how he's doing on game day. And, you know, when the kids finally figure it out, if they can be accountable, dependable, they're going to have success, whether it's on the field or off the field. So to me, taking young men and making them, you know, years after football, I want them to be successful people. And that's what this program's about. That's what Jimbo's about. It's just not about Saturday game day. It's about what are you going to do when you're done playing football and you have 3 kids and you have to raise them. You know, they need a mentor. They need a father figure, and that's what it's about.
You've been around the best for so many years, coaching on every different level. If it's high school, if it's college, if it's the NFL, you've been around at every level. How much of your guys really bought into the kind of the Sal Sunseri mentality? If you've been around it all, you know exactly what to expect.
Right. Well, I think they respect me where I've been and what we've done and what we've accomplished. But I really believe they bought in because when I got here, Mario was 315 pounds. Now he's 278. You know, DeMarcus Walker came in here from a high school that didn't really know too much about football. Kid's been pretty good academically and athletically. You know, Chris Casher has been going in the games and making impact plays and being more dependable. And, you know, they understand what I'm about, and I'm not going to let them be average. Coach Fisher's not going to let them be average. And that's the whole thing about this program. We're going to coach you. We're going to demand that you do it right. We're going to know how to do it, why you're doing it, and more importantly, the success you have when you do it right. So it's been good. It's been really, really good. It's been a great experience, and you know, we're sitting here right now, and you know, we just had a big win, and we played well. But when you watch the tape, there's still things that we can do better, and that's the whole thing. You know, we haven't arrived. We're going to go out there and we're going to work this week. We're going to do what we have to do. But the bottom line is, every day you go out on that football field, there's something new that you can do.
Best luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Show. Coach, you get right back at it this week. North Carolina State comes to town for a 3:30 kick. It's good to be back home, but the main thing you'll do all week, I'm sure, is reinforce to your players that Clemson is done with. We got to get ready for a team that beat us last year in Raleigh.
That's exactly right. And I tell you, the thing I was the most proud of was the locker room after the game in Clemson. It was excited, but it wasn't exuberant. I mean, it wasn't crazy. I mean, okay, it was a big game, it was an important game. We were happy we won, but we understand there's a lot of ball left. It wasn't like we had won a championship or won anything. And that's one of the things I think the maturity of this team I'm proud of. I think they understand that, and I think we'll accept that challenge. And that's going to be very critical for our coaches and everybody to get those players focused. But I think our senior leadership will do a great job of that.
This is a Wolfpack team now that you know, it has a new quarterback. Actually, they've had some injury situations this year, but Glennon is gone. But also a new staff overall, so it's a new look, new regime.
Everything's new. They got great players. They're always a very tough team. They've had a couple tough games here lately, but early in the season they had a lot of big wins. They're getting their quarterback back this week against us, which will give them a big lift and change their offense, which will give us a lot of dual preparation and things that got to go on. And it's going to be a tremendous week for us. We got back at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we got to get our bodies rested, our minds rested, and be able to function. And we have to win this game Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
And, Coach, I know that you don't have a chance or the time to get too caught up in the hoopla, but it's going to be a special moment this weekend because Coach Bowden is coming back to be honored. And I think there's 300 or 400 of his former players will be back as part of the weekend's festivities. And I know, you know, you've had a special relationship with Coach over the years.
I mean, he's our hero. He's everybody's hero. But, you know, when I first started getting in coaching, I was still playing and just started getting in, being around, listening to everything he said. I was around him and the family, and around him at late night when he would sit up by the pool and talk. And just his overall knowledge and a lot of the beliefs and philosophies I have in coaching came from Coach, and the way he treated me and the way he treated, you know, as a young coach and influenced me to be in this business. And he's what's right about this business. He's as fine a young man as ever. He's as fine as man as ever coached. He's as good a coach as ever coached. And it's what's right about college football is for him to be back at Florida State and them appreciating him, and for college football to have him back at his home school is tremendous. You know what's funny? He got a message to me that that his worry for the weekend was that he wasn't a distraction to the players. Now the old coach comes back out.
Right.
You know what I mean? That, you know, I know this is about me, but I don't want to distract the season you're having and what our players have. And all to me, that just signifies what the man is about, and that's why he's Bobby Bowden.
Well said. It's going to be a great weekend, folks. Make sure you're at Doak Campbell Stadium, 3:30 this Saturday as Bobby Bowden returns. We'll return momentarily for some final thoughts here on the Jimbo Fisher Show.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by a head chef of Florida State Athletics, Joyce Simons. Joyce, we're going to be making something today, a Southern favorite everybody loves to enjoy, but we're making it more nutritious. We're taking down the portion size. Tell our viewers what we're going to be making today.
Well, today, Scott, we're going to be making sweet potato pie cupcakes. So today, we're going to make the batter, and then we're going to decorate it up. We have an egg and some brown sugar. We're going to mix those together until they're all incorporated. And then we're going to add in some good old butter.
Nothing like butter, right? Makes
No.
everything taste better. It might be nutritious, but that's definitely going to give it some flavor.
So after it's all mixed together, we're going to add vanilla, and then I went ahead and pureed some sweet potatoes, and we're going to add that in because you can't have sweet potato pie without sweet potatoes.
It's one of those things everybody in the South grows up loving, is sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you gotta find some way to enjoy it, I guess. And Lord knows, if it were an entire pie, I'd sit here and eat the whole thing probably.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're focusing on portion control today.
We're definitely going to make something delicious, but with a few less calories. So after the sweet potatoes are together, we're gonna add some flour, and then we have baking soda to help it rise, cinnamon, nutmeg, and some salt.
And nutmeg's one of those things that makes everything kind of more pungent, I guess. It makes I guess you get more of the spice really out of the sweet potato.
Yeah. Nutmeg helps potatoes taste a lot better. You would never know some of the dishes nutmeg's in, but then some lots of potato dishes.
And that'd be like a pumpkin pie or something like that. You'd see a lot of nutmeg, a lot of cinnamon in that.
Yeah. So we're gonna mix it all together, and then when the flour's together, we're gonna add milk. And once it's all together, I have it right here. We're gonna mix it, and I have it in a mixer. So Scott, to make it a little smaller portions, we have a muffin tin here, and I already oiled it. And then we're gonna scoop them out, so this way you know exactly how much you're getting in a portion. We're gonna scoop them in. And then we're gonna bake them at 350 for about 15 minutes, or until you get a toothpick that comes out clean. So we have the cupcakes done, and I went ahead and made a marshmallow fluff frosting. So I took good old fluff here, and we whipped it with some butter, again, great tasting.
Gotta love the butter.
And then some powdered sugar, and I put it in a piping bag. You can always use a Ziploc bag at home. And we're just gonna pipe it on. Not too much. And then if you want, Scott, you can dip it in the frost, or this is graham cracker crumbs right here. You can dip it in that, or you can just sprinkle a little on top, depending how much flavor of the graham you want.
Let's dip it. Yeah, we want some graham cracker.
You have to have the
there.
taste of the crust. And this is a way for EJ to enjoy his favorites during the season and not have all the calories. So, do you want to try one?
Do I want to try one? Is that even a question? Absolutely.
Good?
Nutritious, but man, does it taste good. Joyce, thanks for joining us. As always, a great way to maintain portion control, but enjoy sweet potato pie, one of my personal favorites.
Thanks, Scott.
Remember, all of Chef Joyce's recipes you can find right now by visiting Seminoles.com, the official website of Florida State Athletics. All the recipes from all of our great shows are up there right now online. We'll see you back here next week.
Welcome back. Just a quick final thought, Coach. You mentioned, I mean, when you play an 8 o'clock Saturday night game, on top of the hype and all that, I mean, it was a late night getting back, which shortens up the week. So how important is it for your guys to be rested, not just focused, but to really take care of themselves this week?
The 48 hours on you after a game is very critical, and how much you do on Monday depends on what happens on Saturday, how tough the game was, what time you got finished, and all that, and it affects your preparation. You have to adjust your preparation during the week based off the timing and how the body affects, and the time and how many weeks in a row and all that kind of stuff. And that was a tough physical game, emotional game. So Monday's going to have to be very calculated out, and in early Tuesday what we do. But we've got to get our guys back ready mentally and physically.
Well, it's going to be great to be back at home. Obviously, the crowd for the big win and Coach Bowden coming back should be a great atmosphere. So we look forward to it, Coach, and we will be back here in these chairs next week to show you the highlights of Florida State and NC State. Thanks for joining us here on the Jimbo Fisher Show, and we'll see you next time.
The Jimbo Fisher Show has been brought to you by the Florida Lottery, proud sponsor of FSU Athletics. The Florida Department of Transportation, drive sober or get pulled over. The energy-saving conservation programs of Tico Peoples Gas. Camping World and Good Sam, your one-stop shop for everything RV. Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. The Gem Collection, finest quality jewelry, extraordinary service, and the best possible prices. SunTrust, the official bank of the Florida State Seminoles. Nick's Toggery, provider of Coach Fisher's wardrobe. By visitflorida.com. Join us next week for another in-depth look at Florida State football.